Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jodie, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some found footage horror movies, and specifically my kind of top 10 found footage horror movies. So yeah, like most people in the community, I'm a massive horror fan. I just absolutely adore the genre, and some of my all-time favorite films of all time are within the horror genre as well. So I mean, there's just so many incredible films to talk about within that genre, but I kind of find, in terms of the horror movies that kind of really stand out to me now, I kind of find they're a little bit kind of more few and far between. Whereas when I kind of look at found footage horror movies, I kind of find that there's a lot more that kind of sticks out to me, and it's kind of in terms of kind of modern horror and like contemporary horror, it's kind of the found footage and the kind of mockumentary style films that kind of stand out to me the most. That's just my personal taste. I know there's a lot of people who are probably not as kind of gone on found footage, and that's completely fine. But for me, it's just personally, I just absolutely love that kind of style of horror. And yeah, I just kind of feel like found footage is one of these kind of subgenres of horror that just goes a little bit under the radar, I think, and just has a lot of kind of hidden gems within it as well. And I think a lot of the hidden gems are in my top 10 as well. There's probably going to be some kind of very famous found footage movies that you're kind of going to be wondering why they're not on my list. I've probably seen most of the kind of big ones, but to be honest, there is some of the popular ones that are just not in my personal top 10. I do have some kind of more kind of underrated ones that are in here, and maybe some ones that are not as kind of highly praised and highly rated and things like that, but for me they just kind of personally really stand out. And I kind of feel like a lot of them are kind of a little bit underappreciated as well. So yeah, I'll go through the list and you can let me know which ones you like, and which ones you've seen, which ones you haven't seen, or which ones you'd like to see. But of course, because these are in my top 10, I recommend every single one of these movies. I just absolutely love all these movies, and yeah, I just think they're all a lot of fun. And yeah, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts as well in the comments. So yeah, and of course it wouldn't be a top 10 without me cheating a little bit and just throwing in a couple of honorable mentions, because these movies are not kind of going to make my list. They're not going to make like the top 10 kind of favorite found footage movies list, but I think they're worth kind of shouting out, and I think they are definitely worth your time and worth checking out if they sound interesting to you. So the first of the honorable mentions, this one is maybe people know about this one, but I kind of find I just never really hear anyone talking about it, and I just thought it was worth mentioning. This one is directed by Rennie Harlan, and the movie is it's called the Dyatlov Pass Incident. And this one, I'm pretty sure this is a British film, because some of the actors are in this are from Emmerdale. If anyone watches the soaps, you'll know, you'll probably recognize some of these actors. Gemma Atkinson is one of the actors in it, and I'd say she's like quite recognizable from being like a very a household name in the UK. So yeah, she's one of the actors in it, and both the characters in it are American, and it centers around like a group of American college students, I think, and they basically set out to make a documentary about basically a group of, I think it's a group of skiers that got lost in the Ural Mountains in Russia. So these students, they basically take a train through Siberia, and basically they're going to look for the kind of location where these people died, and they kind of want to investigate kind of what happened to them. And yeah, what they find out is that's kind of where all of the kind of horror comes in. But yeah, it's a really fun movie. I kind of enjoy the I kind of really enjoy the locations of this. If you like your kind of icy movies, your snowy kind of mountainous movies, this is a lot of fun. The acting is a little bit rough, but I think it's just a fun movie. If you're into your found footage, of course, I just think it's one you kind of need to check out. So I just said I would throw it in the honorable mentions. So this one is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. And the next honorable mention I just want to kind of again just bring up, because yeah, it's it has kind of its decent moments in terms of horror, but I think this movie is kind of more It's noteworthy because this is actually thought to be one of the actual first found footage movies. There's probably actually a case to be made about Cannibal Holocaust being the first you know, proper found footage movie, but in terms of the kind of the camera kind of mockumentary style that we're kind of familiar with now, there's, you know, there's a line of thinking that this is actually the first kind of found footage horror movie, and this one is called The Last Broadcast. So this one came out in 1998, so it actually came out the year before the Blair Witch Project. I know a lot of people kind of think Blair Witch is like the first found footage, but yeah, no, this one came out before, and this one centers around a crew who are investigating the Jersey Devil in New Jersey, obviously. So yeah, it's not a bad little horror film. I mean, like, it's not incredible, but I kind of think if you're into your found footage movies, if you're into your kind of cryptozoology, your kind of lore, all that kind of thing, I think it's kind of like a staple to check out at some point. It is enjoyable, it's a good watch, you know, it's not like a bad film or anything like that, but it's just, you know, there's definitely a lot better kind of found footage movies that have come out since this, but definitely still worth your time. So yeah, The Last Broadcast is the next honorable mention. So then, just getting on with the top 10, yeah, I already mentioned it, and I think it's one that, like, pretty much everyone is going to expect to be on this list, and yeah, it has to be The Blair Witch Project from 1999. I just recently talked about this movie in my top 10 movies from the 90s, because this is right up there for me. I kind of won't go too much into it because I think everyone knows the Blair Witch Project at this point in time, but yeah, just an incredible horror film. I think revolutionary, like, I don't know, is that too strong a word for it? I kind of think it is, just in terms of what it achieved, in terms of the tension and the fear, and yeah, I think this is why this movie is why I love found footage. I just love that. I love that style. I love the, you know, the kind of real, kind of raw, you know, kind of atmosphere of it. Yeah, there's just nothing I don't love about this film. I love, like, the real characters in it, like, you know, the you kind of see the characters having arguments. All the characters are, like, really imperfect, and they feel very, very real. And yeah, there's really nothing I don't love about this film, and I just think it's just absolutely incredible, and really kind of paved the way for, like, a new generation of horror films. So yeah, you just cannot have a top 10, I think, without mentioning the Blair Witch Project. So the next film on the list, this one is from 2013, and this is just such a fantastic found footage movie. This one is directed by Ty West, who of course did the incredible House of the Devil. And this one is called The Sacrament. Now this cover doesn't, I feel like it doesn't really kind of illustrate this movie. This is just, I just love this movie so much. So this movie, it follows a couple of reporters for a magazine, basically, and they follow this young man into this is kind of like remote kind of forest kind of area. It's just, we don't really know where it is. I kind of feel like it could be like maybe South America or something like that, or Central America, but it's this kind of forest area. And this young man, basically, he's going to track down his sister, who he has not seen for a long time, and she is supposedly living on this kind of living in this kind of commune in the forest. And so it's about kind of him, you know, finding the sister, and kind of meeting her, and kind of figuring out what's actually going on this yeah, in this kind of commune, in this kind of retreat. And yeah, I kind of won't say too much more, but this movie, it is inspired by a real kind of world event called the Jonestown Massacre. So maybe that lets you in on a little bit of kind of what this movie is actually about. But yeah, it's absolutely dread inducing. Just as we're kind of, you know, meeting the sister, meeting all the characters in this commune, and we're kind of learning a little bit more about what their life is like, and you know, kind of what the whole kind of commune is all about. Yeah, it's really kind of disturbing, and yeah, it's just absolutely absolutely incredible how it all kind of unfolds. Yeah, I was just absolutely hooked when I first watched this. Such a fun, you know, kind of crazy found footage film, and just really really entertaining as well. So I just absolutely love this one. If you haven't seen Sacrament, if you're into your Ty West films, he always just makes really kind of interesting kind of fun horror films, so I just highly recommend checking this one out, The Sacrament. Then next on the list, we have probably the most fun found footage horror film you're ever going to see in your life. I love this one as well. This one is from 2014, and this one is written and directed by Adam Green, who did the Hatchet movies. This movie is, oh, this is honestly just so much fun. This one is called Digging Up the Marrow, and this, I just feel like this film is like criminally underseen. This, honestly, I cannot stress just how much fun this this found footage is. So basically follows Adam Green, and he's playing a filmmaker, like a kind of, I think it's kind of supposed to be like a, you know, a fictional kind of version of himself. He's really kind of playing himself, I find, and his personality is fantastic and so suited to this movie. So he's playing a documentary filmmaker, and he starts by making like a documentary about like kind of monster art, and, you know, monster you know, people that kind of draw monsters for films and that kind of thing. And he kind of starts out kind of making a film about that, until he gets contacted by a man who says that he can prove that he has evidence that monsters actually exist. And so then the Adam Green character just completely like changes the kind of subject of the film to like kind of focus on this guy, and like what evidence does he have, and kind of looking into this evidence to see, is he like actually like a nutcase, or is he actually onto something, like do monsters actually exist. And yeah, it is honestly so much fun. I just absolutely love. I don't kind of want to say too much about what we kind of see in terms of the actual horror elements of it, but what I will say is that just the effects and everything in this are a lot of fun, and they're really yeah, they're really great to watch. And yeah, this movie is just such a highly entertaining found footage. It kind of just blends kind of, you know, comedy and horror perfectly, in my opinion. And as I said, it's a really underseen one. So if you can get your hands on this one, Digging Up the Marrow, yeah, it's really worth your time. If this one sounds like it's up your street, I just absolutely love this one. So yeah, that's the next one on the list. Next on the list, this is another, like, again, criminally underseen and underrated found footage. This one, I think this is a Canadian film. This one from the year, this is from the year 2012. So yeah, most of these like found footages are kind of from the 2000s and kind of 2010s, because I think that was like when found footage was in its absolute peak. But yeah, this one, this is so great. This one is called The Conspiracy, and this is actually yeah, it's an Arrow Films DVD. So this movie, it centers around, again, two filmmakers, because most of these films are about kind of filmmakers, and essentially they are they're kind of investigating conspiracy theorists, and specifically someone that really believes in conspiracy theories. I think at the start they're kind of more looking at it in a sense of, you know, how can kind of people believe in conspiracy theories, and you know, why do they believe what they believe, and that kind of thing. But then the person that they're kind of focusing on in the documentary disappears, and so they basically look in their files, look at everything that that person has been investigating to try and kind of find out where they went. And of course then they kind of get led down a conspiracy kind of rabbit hole themselves, and kind of what they kind of find is kind of where the kind of horror elements come into it. And yeah, it's really fun. There's kind of like I haven't seen this one in a while, but from what I remember, yeah, there's like definitely like a jump scare in this, or just a moment where like your heart is like genuinely racing. I remember just having so much fun with this, and it's just really yeah, it's always just kind of really stood out to me as one I've just absolutely loved. So it's definitely one I need to get back and revisit at some point, but I absolutely love this one. So if you're into your conspiracy theories, like even if you're not a conspiracy theorist, but if you just enjoy, you know, if you enjoy kind of divulging in a conspiracy theory every now and then, I think this is going to scratch a very particular itch. And yeah, again, it's a lot of fun, and I definitely think this one is underrated, so I would highly recommend this one as well, The Conspiracy. So next on the list, this is one I actually just really recently talked about as well. This one is one I talked about in my video I did where I talked about horror movies that don't have very high ratings that I really love. And yeah, this one, it was one of these ones because I personally think the rating on this one is really low for kind of my enjoyment level of it. I think Ash from Popcorn and Horror would probably disagree. I think Ash watched this one after I recommended it in that video, and I think he gave it like a 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So yeah, my heart was a little bit broken there, but yeah, there's no hard feelings, Ash. But yeah, it just goes to show that, look, these movies are not going to be for everyone, but this is just kind of my personal list, and these are ones I personally really enjoy. But yeah, Ash obviously didn't get along with this one, but it's still in my top 10. I just absolutely love this movie, and it is Houses of Halloween, aka Houses October Built, is the US title. So yeah, because I just talked about this one, I won't go into too much detail, but just very briefly, this movie is about a group of friends who are basically kind of seeking out, you know, trying to find the best kind of haunted houses, the best haunts kind of all around the country, and basically just kind of going out seeking kind of the most extreme kind of scares and thrills. And yeah, it just kind of does it for me. I don't know what to say. It's just, yeah, it's just one I absolutely love. And the sequel, the Houses October Built 2, I just absolutely love it as well. So yeah, Ash, if you do get around to watching part 2, definitely let me know, but I don't know after your rating of this one if you will. But yeah, part 2 is a lot of fun as well. But yeah, what can I say? I just absolutely love this one. So if anyone else does happen to check this one out, please come back to me and let me know what you think, because I know this is kind of yeah, I know this is kind of a hit and miss one, but I absolutely love it. Then the next one on the list, this is one I do not have on physical media because I'm not 100% sure if you can get this one on physical media, but this one is kind of in a similar vein to the Houses of Halloween, Houses October Built, in that it kind of focuses around these kind of haunted house kind of experiences. This one is from 2015, and it's called House LLC. And this one is a little bit different from Houses of Halloween in that this one is about it's about a group of friends who actually create these kind of haunted houses and create these kind of haunt experiences for other people to kind of come to. And so there is a kind of a different element to it, but again, kind of similarly to Houses of Halloween, I find this one is just so creepy and just kind of so much fun. It has that kind of spooky kind of Halloween feeling to it, you know, that kind of campy kind of really fun side of it, but then this kind of very, very kind of sinister side as well, and that's kind of where we actually start to get a lot of the kind of horror elements. Yeah, it's a really, really great one. It's one I haven't seen in a while because I don't own it on physical media, but it just left like a really lasting impression on me. I just thought it was fantastic. I think if you are subscribed to Shudder, I think you can watch it pretty easily, or of course if you have the Fire Stick Plus service, I know a few people in the community are subscribed to that service. I'm pretty sure you can check it out. But yeah, if you know if House LLC is available on physical media, definitely let me know. Maybe it's available maybe on a US import or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's a fantastic found footage movie, and it's just, yeah, it's a perfect one to kind of watch around like the Halloween period. So yeah, just another fantastic one. So the next one on the list, I have to say this is another like criminally underrated found footage movie. Yeah, I feel like this one just does not get talked about at all, but I just think this is a really strong one. This one is called it's called Phoenix Forgotten, and this one is from it's from 2017. So yeah, this one, if you are into your kind of sci-fi found footage movies, your kind of your alien kind of ones, this is a really really good one. This is a lot more subtle of a kind of found footage movie. This is not like, you know, kind of constant kind of thrills and scares and jumps and everything like that. This is a lot more subtle. This is a lot more I would say maybe kind of tense and kind of atmospheric, I would say, but it doesn't kind of detract from me. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It's basically about I think there was basically, of course, in Phoenix, Arizona, there was an event in the late 90s, and a load of lights were kind of seen over the skies, and it was thought to be like a UFO sighting. Essentially 3 teens kind of go out into the desert, basically looking to kind of record what's going on, trying to record the lights and try to, you know, yeah, try to get some footage, and essentially they kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. And this film is basically about kind of their footage being recovered. So it literally is a found footage. Yeah, the footage that they took that night is retrieved, and you know, the people, their family members and everything, finally get to learn what happened to them. So yeah, again, it's not the most kind of, you know, kind of thrilling movie, but again, the atmosphere in this is just second to none. Yeah, I really really enjoyed this one. And again, if you're into your kind of alien ones, your sci-fi, your UFO films, this is a really really good one to check out. I'd highly recommend checking this one out, Phoenix Forgotten. Then next is another one I actually talked about in that other video I did of like talking about my favorite kind of low rated horror movies. And again, this one is just one I couldn't believe that it was kind of rated so low. This one is a found footage movie from this one is from 2013, and this one is called Willow Creek. And again, this is another just another fantastic one, given that it focuses around just one of my favorite kind of found footage topics, which is like kind of cryptids and cryptozoology, and this one being about Bigfoot. So this one is about it's about a couple who basically visit Willow Creek in Northern California, and they're basically going with a camera, and they're looking for evidence that Bigfoot exists. And I just like this movie so much, not just because of the kind of horror elements that you get in it, which are a lot of fun, but also there's just a lot of like really lighthearted kind of comedic elements to this. I really like getting to see the area of Willow Creek, and this area where there's been a lot of kind of supposed Bigfoot sightings, and just kind of how they've kind of adapted Bigfoot in this kind of, you know, in this village or town. You know, you've your kind of Bigfoot cafe, you've Bigfoot monument, you've kind of all these different kind of little nods to Bigfoot. I just kind of feel like it's a place I'd love to visit at some point, because it just looks like so much fun. So I kind of like that element to it, as well as the horror part of it. But yeah, overall I really really enjoyed this movie. And again, if you're into your kind of Bigfoot movies, like this is a staple, and I think it's probably one of the stronger kind of Bigfoot horror movies, because there's a lot of crap out there when it comes to Bigfoot. There's a lot of just absolute rubbish, but this one is really creepy, and it's a lot of fun. So highly recommend this one, Willow Creek. Then next on the list, this one is from the year 2014, and yeah, this is just another, I suppose, one with some lighthearted elements, but then gets extremely sinister. And we kind of never really know where we stand in this movie. We're kind of always kept on our toes when we watch this movie, and the movie in question is this one, Creep. So this one's not to be confused with the British Creep. I know there is a British horror film called Creep, but this is the American found footage movie. This one, yeah, it's directed by Patrick Bryce, but the story is by Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass, who I believe both star in this movie. Yeah, they are both the actors in this movie. And basically this movie, it's kind of hard to explain what the horror elements are in this film, but I feel like it's just one you need to just watch and kind of experience for yourself, and just kind of the weirdness of this one. It's about a man who basically he answers an ad in the paper, I think, for a man looking for a videographer. He put an ad in the paper. He wants a videographer to come out to his house and make a video of him for his unborn child. And your man kind of thinks, okay, this sounds easy. I'll do that. I'll go out there for the day and I'll just kind of record whatever your man wants me to record. And he goes out to his house, and the guy is he's just the maddest chap you'll ever meet in your life. And he's just doing the weirdest things. He's kind of saying the weirdest things. And yeah, it's just a very, very kind of bizarre situation to be in. And like I said, you're just kind of always kind of kept on your toes when you're watching this. You just don't know what he's going to do next and what he's going to say next. And in that sense, it's really, really entertaining and really original and really fun. There is a creep part 2, which I did enjoy. I didn't enjoy it, I don't think, as much as the first one, but there's still a lot to enjoy about the second one. But I think this one is just so fantastic because of just how kind of original and kind of unhinged it is. So yeah, if you haven't seen Creep, and if you're into your just kind of bizarre, just weird horror movies, this one will be right up your street. It's genuinely a lot of fun, and it's just a little bit bonkers. So yeah, Creep had to be on the list. And then finally we have one that I kind of pretty much just watched. It's like a new watch for me. This one, I think I watched it like the week between Christmas and New Year, where you kind of don't know what day of the week it is. And I just checked this out because I had heard kind of interesting things. I thought the premise of the story sounded really interesting, and I watched it and I absolutely loved this. I know this is kind of one that's again, it's a little bit of a Marmite film. Some people loved it, some people hated it. But I was definitely on the side of love with this one. This film, it's a new film. It's from 2023, and it is Late Night with the Devil. So this is one I literally just picked this up on Blu-ray because when I saw it, I knew it was one I was going to have to own in the collection, and one that I was going to be kind of rewatching a lot because yeah, I just found it so entertaining and just really, yeah, I just found this absolutely great. And really, while it's still kind of in that kind of found footage style, that kind of not like kind of mockumentary, but it's kind of set up like a TV show while it's in that kind of style. Yeah, I still found it very kind of unique in terms of the subject matter and kind of how it all kind of played out. I thought it was really, really unique and really original. So this movie, it's set on Halloween in the 70s, in the late 70s. It's basically set on like one of these kind of late night TV shows. And this character, I can't even remember his name. Yeah, he's basically like the host of this show, and essentially he is he's kind of competing with another late night show for ratings. So he's kind of at the stage like he'll really kind of do pretty much anything for the ratings. And one Halloween night he's kind of hosting this like kind of spooky kind of Halloween special of this late night TV show, and on which there is a psychic who comes onto the show, and then there's this kind of guy who he is kind of debunking psychics and debunking paranormal activity and that kind of thing. So we have this kind of counterbalance with him, and then we also have this young woman come onto the show who was supposedly possessed by a demon, and is able to basically kind of summon this demon to kind of come out and yeah, just kind of manifest kind of in her body. So yeah, very kind of interesting stuff. And you can imagine if you were actually watching this on TV in the 70s, it'd be really, really kind of interesting to kind of see all this play out. So he kind of thinks it's kind of some harmless fun to, you know, to kind of use these people to kind of get the ratings up. But then, you know, as you can imagine with a horror movie and with a found footage kind of horror movie, you know, things don't things don't go to plan and things go a little bit wrong, or a lot wrong. So yeah, I won't kind of say too much more, but I kind of personally found kind of what did happen to be really entertaining, and again, as I said, really original, really unique. And I just absolutely love this, and I just know, like, I'm gonna watch this so many times. I just love the style of it. I just thought, yeah, the aesthetic of it was so cool. I really liked the performances. Just everything about this I just really liked. And yeah, it kind of immediately shot up into, you know, some of my favorite found footage films that I've ever seen. I just absolutely loved it. So definitely please let me know if you've seen this one. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't seen it, it's one, again, I like all these movies, I highly recommend. Late Night with the Devil, just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that is my top 10 found footage horror movies. I would love to hear in the comments what you think about some of these movies, if you know, if you've seen them. And please let me know what some of your favorite found footage horror movies are. You know, if there's any ones that I haven't said, I'd love to know your thoughts and what your favorite ones are. So definitely leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, if you are still watching this video, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.